1985. May 15th. I never thought that I could do something like this, resorting to a diary to express myself. But come on, what have I got to lose? My name is Randall Wayne. My friends call me Randy. However, I don't know many that call me that. A few days ago, I turned 33. I live in Hope, a small town in British Columbia. We are in a valley, surrounded by nature, which is situated in the southwest of this great country called Canada. Here we have everything we need to be happy. If you compare my town to other cities, they're garbage. If I speak about those cities that I see on TV, Hope always seems the best place in the world for a man like me. My work also keeps me happy. I'm a park warden, right here in the mountains. My work requires me to spend a lot of time far from home and to be in direct contact with the trees and the animals. I normally hike up the mountain by myself. Man can trust the mountain. The mountain never disappoints you. I don't need anything else. Sometimes having someone close is dangerous. Ordinary people speak too much and always disappoint you in the end. May 19th. I just read what I wrote the other day. It might seem like I'm an irritable person who doesn't get along well with others, but that's not true. I think I'm happy. I've turned 33. With 33 years behind you, you've lived too long and at the same time too little. I have a big family. Shannon, my wife, is a wonderful person. She has always understood me. Understood my problems. And that is the most important thing for a man. Besides, she's a great cook. For more than 10 years I've carried her smell with me. In my clothes. In my hair. Then I was stuck in a rut. I was like the driver of a train about to derail. Too fast. Too shaky. Too nervous. They used to say so. She helped me to get back on the right track. She and the new job, you know, the job in the woods. Later, Lydia came, my daughter. The beautiful Lydia. The girl was a blessing. I think that they are the most important people in my life. Well, I don't just think so, it's the truth. People don't like the truth. People that they believe in something that later they forget or betray. People betray you easily. I will never betray them. June 6th. I lost my sense of direction today. In the forest. I was going back and forth from the cabin, but I wasn't able to find the way back. In spite of having the way right in front of me, I couldn't see it. Tomorrow I have to go back. It seems that there are poachers looking for trouble. I hate people that look for trouble. Because those who look for it will always find it. Although what they find might not be exactly what they expected. In the afternoon, I found a deer which had been run over on the road. It was a strange day. September 9th. Where have you been hiding, my dear diary? I have my daughter to thank for finding you again. I forgot to write. I know. And already summer has almost gone at a stroke. I like this exercise of writing, opening myself to others. Even though nobody will read it. It gives peace of mind. I feel that I exist. Also I like to read things like this in the books that I carry to my watches. You never forget the thump, eh? A blow on the very heart. You remember it, you dream of it, you wake up at night and think of it years after. And go hot and cold all over. J. Conrad. I was the same age as my daughter when my father abandoned my mother and disappeared for good. I think that childhood event really affected me, and stayed inside me just like a burn that will always leave a scar on your skin although the wound is closed. A vivid memory of what it became. When you abandon something, it's because you don't want it. I believe so. I will never be like him. I will never abandon those that I love. Between father and a son, there are big differences. October 2nd. Today I have a headache. Sore bones. The cold weather has begun and the mountain is getting ready for the new season. I also had a terrible migraine in the afternoon. October 10th. What an obsession. I spent whole day with numbers in my head, a 10 for here, a 16 for there, an infinite number of trees that I have counted in the forest. 3 foxes. 1 bear. 10 words said in all day and 30 times that I've sat down to see the horizon with binoculars. 252 steps from the cabin to the road. 30 steps to go around the cabin. I don't know how many words there are in this diary, but there are many more words that are burning inside me. The words that I don't write. I'm afraid of closing my eyes and dreaming. I'm having this fear of everything coming back again. And the wind of the past hits my back. This loneliness doesn't seem enough, and nor is enough to write on this notebook now. Sometimes, I also see what happened if I'm awake. October 15th. Thanksgiving. Today was a day to remember. My wife made a great stew again. The whole family had dinner in silence, but it was a pleasant silence. It's not always necessary to fill the emptiness with words, right? Instead, Lydia was a bit sad for Nick. She says that he deserved better. Nick deserved better, and I think that we all deserve better. At least Nick's meat was tasty. Typical of kids, the way they insist on personifying the world around them and on giving names to everything that they find. I had to break Nick's neck myself with bare hands. It's not that I'm a coward, but I don't like killing animals with my hands. Even less so when it's got a human name. In my job, sometimes I have to sacrifice animals that are sick or that pose a danger to others. I know that all deaths are the same, even if it was a turkey with the name of a used car dealer. October 19th. They have sent a message warning the poachers. Ben Parker, an acquaintance of the town, made a phone call to the warden's office. It seems that he saw some hunters in a protected sector. Ben is a good guy. I think he's the only man in the town who I can talk to. I saw him in the mountain and he's not one to look for trouble. He's often come to see me, and we talk about this and that. He is a man of the world and easy to get along with. On the way back I came across a van parked at the side of the road. 2 girls were on the shoulder, playing like little kids. Playing and laughing. I've known those idiots for some time. They're always hanging around. The younger one, a tanned and chubby girl, couldn't stop smiling. She didn't say anything special. Unlike the other one. They're from Vancouver and were looking for plants that help to cure a goodness knows what illness. I've warned them. The forest knows how to find its food. It's not safe for girls to go into the forest to pick flowers. Wild animals do their job. Just like I do mine. When they were leaving, over the engine sound I could still hear one of the girls laugh. I hate city people. October 22nd. Dreams are my reality. October 24th. I'm afraid of the night. 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 I'm afraid. November 11th. The break after the work, the rain after the fire, the rest after the war, the death after life. Sometimes I feel as if I were sitting at the edge of a volcano about to erupt. My nerves, the trembles in my handwriting when I write. Everything is inside me as it has always been. Everything is inside me, but there are times that it decides to show up. My feet hang over a void of sulfur and ashes and the heat of the melting stone starts to traverse my spine. It is then when I know that I must go back home with my family. But if I don't do that, it will happen. It will happen whether you like it or not. Like the girls in the forest. It will happen whether you like it or not. It will happen. I don't know why on earth they returned to the mountains. They were warned. Last month I warned them. I told them not to come back. Hell is them. And they are the ones who go to the forest to look for trouble. I can't stop myself from defending it. My homeland. I am an animal that defends its territory. I'm in charge and the vermin finish the job. December 5th. In spite of the migraine, I may still be able to forget everything and be only aware of the good things inside me. When my maternal grandmother, who was already over 80, died, the only person she had beside her was a nurse. The old woman lived alone, and died alone. The girl said that before my grandmother died, she lifted her head up off the pillow, and looked from one side to the other, as if she were trying to find someone, and then she lay down again and died. There is no doubt that a void surrounds me, but I am also sure that I haven't completely fallen into it. At times, I feel that if I lift up my head, I will be able to cross to the other side. December 12th. Lydia has all the imagination that her mother lacks. Shannon has been worried and angry for a few days. I can tell that she is upset with me. I know well that I have spent time outside. More than I should have. But in this season and with the chaos of the poachers and the hunting, I couldn't do more for her, nor for us. I know that and I feel sorry. December 25th. Don't you like it, Randy? The mountain is beautiful. Merry Christmas. Happy 1986. 1986. January 7th. I had a visitor on the mountain. Ben Parker climbed up to see how things were going up there. This Parker is a smart old man. He's American, but has lived with us for many years as one of the community. Ben was born in our neighboring country and fought against those commies in Vietnam. When he returned home, he wasn't made to feel welcome and had to look for a new home. A homeland that doesn't want you when you've given all for her is like a father that abandons you when you're a kid. He came here with his wife, who was ill. The air of the mountains is good, we can breathe, people say. However, it didn't help much and she passed away quite soon. Ben works as a pilot. He helps out with helicopter rescues. He offers tourists the best bird's eye view in all of Canada, according to him. I imagine that he feels a bit lonely in the town and that's why he climbs up to the mountain to talk with me. We get along well. He brings some beers and starts ranting about the Ruskies. He doesn't get along with them. We both think that soon there will be another war that will make the world's foundations tremble, and that the best place for protecting ourselves from it will be under the very grass that grows around our feet right now. January 14th. Yesterday I went back to Harry's Corner for the first time in a year. I don't like closed spaces. I was going only to have a beer with Ben and would leave after that. But he was late. The stuffy air of Harry's Corner and all those regulars analyzing each one of my gestures make me very nervous. I don't like how those guys look at me. I don't like when they speak. I don't like their laughter. I can't hear what they say, but I'm sure that they're talking about me. When Ben arrived, he brought some wrinkled clippings from the local newspaper. He remains concerned with the attacks in the forest. What does he want me to say? I can't do anything. But Ben stands his ground because the best we can do is organize for some people of the town to go out to the mountain to chase the bears. He is sure that if we scare off some of them, the people from the city will return. And that the business will return. I told him what I think. The carrion nourishes soil, and even though you can scare off some animals, new ones will come. If you pull out a fang today, a new one, a stronger one, will grow back tomorrow. Nature is like that, and the men who want to control it are like that. January 28th. I dream of two cats playing and hiding in a suitcase. They get trapped inside, never seeing the light of day again. They suffocate. I carry a heavy load with blood on my shoulder. Bags full of vermin of the forest, and dead cats in my luggage. February 27th. There is a strange feeling of unrest in the forest. I'm getting it from the trees and animals. What the hell is happening in this world? Altercations with the police in southern Poland. It seems like something serious is happening in Europe, but they're not saying anything. I think they're hiding the worst part. People say that the army is launching chemical agents over a little town. The people are mad furious. Several cops have died. But the government denies it. It's snowing again today, and the silence here is scary. March 1st. Since that strange dream that I had, it seems like the world is awaking every day with a new revolution. Normally I don't pay much attention to the news or television, but something serious is happening, that's for sure. Shannon is worried too. She wants us to go to the town to buy some food. Supplies, she says. She says that she's talked with some neighbors and they're getting prepared. There has been lots of tension that seemed forgotten in Europe. A wave of violence? A new world war? I already said that you can't trust those commies. March 7th. A week has passed since the last time I wrote. I didn't really know quite what to say today. They're talking about an infection. People are getting ill all around the world. They die easily. They are sacrificing animals. Europe is in quarantine and nobody knows what to do. There have already been some confirmed cases on the east coast of the USA. The Prime Minister says that there is nothing to be worried about. But nobody believes him. I forbade my wife from leaving the house. I will take care of everything. March 10th. We had a meeting in the head office. One of the Mounties supervisors has come to visit us and given us some advice, plus information. It seems like it is a rabies epidemic. But the virus has mutated, he says, and like during any other epidemic we need to take special precaution when dealing with wild animals. In some cases, the deaths and mutilations, like other problems in the forest, have stemmed from them. If a human is attacked, he will present the same symptoms almost immediately. We must raise the alarm about any sighting on the mountain. March 12th. The wave of violence has spread beyond Europe. They say that the hospitals weren't ready for something like this. But what does something like this mean? What are they talking about? About an innocent rabies epidemic? No, I don't believe them. But the lies go further. People on this side of the ocean say that everything is under control. They're talking about more than 300 people being affected. But I don't really know if that word means the dead or the infected. Those bastard politicians, they keep lying. Today, a plane crashed in the Gulf of Mexico. Nearly 150 people are missing. And is God considering doing anything? I am not a religious person, but I know that any wild fox that I protect out there is stronger and fairer than the God that they pray to. I need to go back to the forest. Go back to the place where I am who I am and where nothing worries me. March 16th. Nobody walks the streets alone, everyone goes with somebody else. We can chew the fear like wasted chewing gum that lasts forever. They broadcasted some images on TV. A man entered a bank and without saying anything attacked the workers and customers. He didn't take a single cent. When he went out, the police shot him. But he kept walking towards them without fear. Too much blood on TV these days. March 23rd. Shannon, my wife, is very nervous, but she doesn't want Lydia to know it. We keep her out of it. March 25th. We've lost communication with the outside world. Yesterday I switched on the TV and they were broadcasting an emergency signal together with an irritating buzz. Also, those cowards in Ottawa are hiding. The radio isn't working either. We can't hear anything. Well, I lied, the local station is working but they keep putting music on all day long. Nobody speaks, nobody tells us anything. There is a heavy silence. March 26th. A dance of helicopters all morning. Shit, it's there again. It's the same one that has spent the night flying through the valley. It looks like the military is finally getting involved in the problem. They are emitting a message. The local population has to go to the aerodrome in the afternoon. There is no time, they say. It seems that the army will take us to a secure area. So the city is no longer secure? A tiny town, isolated from everything and surrounded by a deep forest protected by mountains is no longer secure? What the hell are these men talking about? I don't understand anything. Hope, how ironic. The city has become a place without hope. I must do something. My family is in danger. Whatever it is, it has arrived in Canada. March 26th. 1700. I went down to the city and tried to speak to some of the men. People running, gathering around, and stepping on each other. There are hundreds of suitcases and memories on the side of the road. People pile up their cars by the road that leads to the Hope Aerodrome. There's military everywhere. They're trying to organize the families and making them pass through control points. It's terrible. I saw how they killed an old man from the town right in front of me, as the desperate cry of his wife and his two sons rang out. A dog barked when he walked by it. There was something in its eyes. In the eyes of the animal. As if it detected or smelled something that only a dog can sense in a human. They undressed him. He had a chest injury, which he tried to hide with all his strength. A gunshot to the head. And his life ended. What should I do? Should I follow those in authority, believing in the words of those liars, or should I escape to the woods with my wife and daughter? I don't know what to do. I don't know what is best for us. I need to go back. I need to take care of the problem. In my own way. I must find a solution to all this. I'm desperate. I need to breathe. I need air. My head it's going to. April 20th. I haven't written anything for quite some time. Our town was overrun. I fought with Ben and the other men, but our barricades were useless and there was no stopping them. When I got back to the house, Shannon and Lydia had gone just like everyone else. There had been a mass exodus from the town of Hope. Parker and I followed, and since then we haven't separated even to answer the call of nature. We walked through the forest, fleeing the catastrophe, channeling our remorse. Until we reached Vancouver. We thought that in a big city things would be better, that's we'd find our people. How naive we were. Vancouver is unrecognizable. There is no food. No fuel. No hope. We ran away, taking shelter like animals. Barely sleeping. There are hundreds of these things everywhere. Shadows. That's what they've called them since it started. Shadows that live in the darkness, that once had human form, that once belonged to men. Shadows of a life that has ended. Their sinister wails torment us night after night. I think of Shannon and Lydia every second. They're out there somewhere, frightened and on the run. Talk about looking for a needle in a haystack. I miss them so much. April 30th. Today, Parker and I discovered a group of survivors. They had been hiding since the city collapsed, more than a month ago. Like in Hope. They no longer have water and food. They are scared. They drift around the city suburbs, and for a moment, they were about to kill Ben and me. The group is composed of 2 adult males and 2 women. They are armed. One of the men is a cop, but he is very old. The other seems like he's never shot a gun in his life. He looks like a university professor. Redhead, skinny, cannon fodder. The women are twins, young. They are a reflection of each other. It seems that they're not related to the men, but I don't know why the men have been protecting them for such a long time. The old man says that he heard a message on the radio from a crashed police car. The message talks about a city on the other side of the border. He wants us to go south. He already talks about us as if we were a group. He says. We must help each other, he says. Ben thinks that it's the best to all go together. A group. A herd. Tomorrow we'll head to Seattle. There's a talk of a safe point, a migration. Shannon, Lydia, they're somewhere on that road. May 3rd. Ben and I made a strange discovery. Tonight we hid in the basement of a clinic. We will be safe there, said Ben. We entered before the rest of the group. But it smelled bad. There were insects all over the floor. Shreds of skin and hair, there were hair and skin everywhere. And in the center of the room I could see 2 dogs, dead. 2 dogs that were also looking for a safe place, I thought. They fought to death for a piece of rotten meat. And I wondered if we would suffer the same fate. But they didn't fight for the meat. No, I was wrong. In this place there was nothing that could be put into the mouth. There was nothing there except some medicines, serum, pills. They fought to the death, but died of a drug overdose. They died to become the first dog left with a useless ampule of morphine stuck between its fangs. May 6th. I found some press clippings in the house of an old woman who decided to take her own life. The woman craved a hobby at the height of the catastrophe. I think it occurred only recently because of the smell of the body. It appears that they declared a war all over the world. Living humans against shadows of the dead. The governments didn't skimp in order to fight against the disease. They used armies, firearms, hundreds of doctors. Each person defended himself in their own way. At the end of April, a nuclear power station in the Soviet Union exploded. I think it was called Chernobyl. It was abandoned to its fate. Atomic bombs were dropped in China, Korea. Also in the southeast of the United States, it seems. For a few days, the world became a gigantic fireball. I don't know what we're going to find in Seattle. On the road, you meet all types, but they're all heading to the same place. Safe haven, safe point. It's on the radio, they say. Well, that's where we're heading. May 14th. Surviving is not child's play. Particularly when darkness falls. Nights repeat themselves and our travels never begin. We travel slowly, stealing fuel from abandoned cars. Sometimes we come across the shadows, other times we must confront them. You must shoot them in the head, that's all. This is the only advice that God gives us to survive his apocalypse of the dead that wake up and walk. But if it's true that they are not alive, why do they need to feed on us? Now the nightmare doesn't end at sunrise. We woke up at dawn, in an abandoned barn next to the survivor group from Seattle, together with Ben. The twins were not sleeping this time. No, instead they were screaming. They were screaming outside. The university professor was outside for his watch. The university professor had been attacked while he was watching over us. A bite on his arm. He was bleeding. We had to clean up the area. Later the redhead guy, the damn university professor, bled to death in front of us and he stopped breathing. We all knew what was going to happen next. Every single one of us. I had to sacrifice him. May 29th. I think I am going crazy. 2 nights ago, when the group stopped to rest in a dive that we had secured, I heard a noise in the back room. It wasn't a normal noise. It was a children's voice. A little girl's voice. Nobody would believe this, but after experiencing what we have lived with the dead, I am sure that it was the voice of my daughter. I went into the back room and I could see her in the half-light. Lydia was there. Her eyes were like torches shining in the dark. She was dressed like before, like a princess. Somebody switched on the light and Lydia wasn't there anymore. The hallucination disappeared. It was Carla, one of the twins, who stole my daughter's voice, and was dressed like her, and called for me in the silence. I don't know what is going on. I can't trust my senses anymore. June 7th. Lydia, Shannon. Names that I can't forget. My head is divided into thousands of fragments, little pieces of smashed crystals. Ground sugar. Interrupted words. A puzzle that I can't solve anymore. There is no future. These are the days without any tomorrows. July 1st. When I was younger I could remember everything. Things that happened and that did not happen. Now I have to look through these pages if I want to find my memory. We can see the city from far away and everything we heard about it seems true. Seattle is a ghost city. You'll never find a place that's nice and peaceful, because there isn't any. It didn't exist before, and even less so now. You can deceive yourself like this professor. You may think there is, but once you get there, when you're not looking, somebody'll sneak up and fuck you right under your nose. July 4th. One of the girls died today. Young Carla died in an abandoned warehouse, and I no longer feel anything for her. I don't feel even a tiny bit. Grief is something that disappears with death. More than 4 months have already gone by since the start of this bloody disease that has destroyed our little world. Everything that we knew in the world is gone. 4 months that changed the rules of nature and human beings. Also 4 months without my wife and daughter. It's hard to keep on going when 4 months seem like 4 years. Harder still to keep hope alive. Doing my best to find them in the only place they could be. Today, even the young people die. And the thing that still puzzles me the most is that some keep living. Or whatever they call the condition they are in. We are survivors of a fading world. Well, sometimes I doubt and wonder, are we alive or are we also dead? 2 days have passed since we entered Seattle looking for our last chance. It's the 4th of July today, a special day for Americans. Independence Day, they say. The birthday of the nation. How stupid to think about births. No one will celebrate anything today.